Hey y'all, it's Curly.
And Casanova.
And it's MJ, and welcome back to the React to Reality podcast.
Mm.
Now that it's been what, like 2 or 3 weeks now?
Like 2 weeks, yeah.
Yeah.
Single life is over. Now we can finally make some time to start talking about some other hot topics.
Right. And today we're talking about quiet on set.
Oof.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
And
intense,
this,
y'all.
I guess I'm also just hearing that Cartoon Network is no longer a thing.
Yeah, it's not a thing, y'all.
So
Like
it's a strange time in kids' entertainment.
it's really bad,
It's
y'all.
depressing.
It's really
Yeah.
I am so sorry for these generations. I'm so sorry. And then I'm sorry for our generation because now we found out everything was lies.
Yeah.
Lies.
Yeah, that part.
Everything was lies. Okay, so I guess before we start, because this is a very dark topic, I guess we can start with like something a little lighter, or maybe we can reminisce a little bit.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
What was, okay, I guess we can go through each network. So obviously we're going to talk a lot about Nickelodeon.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
What was your favorite Nickelodeon show? Or like, is there like a skit that like literally still stays with you to this
Amanda,
day?
please.
Oh man.
And then the ones that I'll always sing this. I'm 28 years old and I always sing socks and sandals. Dum, 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 socks and sandals.
What was Sock?
That's
Oh, I
from
don't
all that.
remember
It's
that
a
one.
skit. It's a skit. And it like stuck in my head because I was like, wow, that is actually like, I'm not gonna lie, I wear socks and sandals. So it's
That's a Dominican ass thing to remember from
yeah,
all
like
that.
that's why I was like, wow, I relate. But I remember it was like a whole skit, like everybody was wearing socks and sandals. Like they had like the parents and stuff, and like they just came in, it was like socks and scandals, doom, 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 socks and sandals, and it became a music video.
Oh,
Oh my
Yeah, it was
God.
that was my thing.
oh.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That was mine. That
I'm
was
sure.
mine.
Okay.
I still say it to this day, so
All right. Damn. Honestly, one of my favorite shows was Drake and Josh. And like honestly, like the best episode, honestly, it's dark. I'm not gonna hold you. Like it was the episode where like Josh was like, I'm done with you, Drake. Like, no, I'm done.
I
Like
remember that.
it was like, but it was good for me because I was like boundaries. That was the first moment that I realized like he's like, yeah, no, I'm just done with you. I'm not dealing with your stuff no more. And then he's like, I'm sorry, Drake, I'm sorry, Josh. I'm just like, exactly. Exactly. Get
Wow,
your
that's deep.
right.
I don't remember that one.
I remember it, but I remember being like, oh my God, are they gonna break up? Like, there's gonna be no more Drake and Josh. Like, that's what I was worried about. I didn't care about boundaries.
I didn't know, understand it at the time, but I was like, that's why it resonated with me because I was just like, yeah, like you don't have to deal with people's stuff if you don't want to. It doesn't matter
Yeah.
if they're
If they're
family or not.
right, that part. I mean,
Yeah.
the sister never did. So I mean,
Oh, she never did.
she never.
Oh my God, she was so good. I almost forget that Miranda Cosgrove was in that show. She was so funny.
Yeah, which is why when she went to iCarly, everybody was like,
What you about to do?
"Why you're not mean?" Like I remember at first,
Yeah.
everybody was like,
Be mean.
Yeah, like it was weird because she was super nice, the complete opposite of what she was in Drake and Josh. And then Sam came and she was the mean one. I mean, it made sense, but it was just like weird at first because it was like, eh.
But it was also because like she got older, and so it's just like
Yeah.
she had too much of a very it like her being mean would just make her look just like absolutely horrid. Like whereas Sam was like it was comedic, but like with if Miranda Cosgrove was just mean, like it would just be like
I
oh
mean, I'm not
like
gonna lie, I like iCarly, the new one too. So I'm not gonna hold you.
Yeah. The
I,
new
I
one's
really
good
I
too.
really like the new one. Like especially I'm not gonna lie, I wish Sam was in it, but it's really good. Like
I have never.
because
So wait, do you guys listen to Scam Goddess?
no.
You know the character that plays Harper. She's the host of the Scam Goddess podcast.
Oh,
Oh,
You guys would love it. She's hilarious. She's a really good comedian.
see now like 'cause I've never seen the new iCarly.
you saw one episode barely.
I saw it on the plane, honestly. I don't actually like sit there and watch it, but
It's
I watched a couple episodes on the plane. It's pretty good.
yeah. I mean I think the reason why I say it's good is because what's his name? The guy
Ready?
Freddie. he has a stepchild. She's black.
Oh yeah.
And she like is always cutting his ass. Like always. Like she's
She's
doing
like
what
she's like
Sam
yeah.
used to do. And
Oh.
it's so funny because she's the daughter. And it's like it's kind of it hurts him the same way it used to hurt when Sam used to do
Yeah.
it. So it's just funny. It's funny as hell. It's funny. It's funny as hell.
It's good. Yeah. I would recommend it. I mean, I feel like my entire taste in comedy is unfortunately came from a Dan Schneider show or movie. I still can watch and quote Good Burger by like
Oh yeah, I know that was
verbatim. I mean,
yeah,
Aileen,
no.
Aileen knows, like
No,
literally, like I
that's her
lived,
thing. Like
I
I can
lived
watch
Just
Good
better
no,
name.
it's fun. But no, seriously, like it's her thing because like I never watched Good Burger until she like was like, you
Yeah.
need to watch Good Burger. You need
Good Burger.
to watch Good Burger. Like
It's still one of the funniest shows of all time. Keenan and Kel, like
Oh yeah,
hands down, probably
Orange
one of Dan
soda.
Schneider's.
Oh my god, that was my thing.
Yes, yes.
Orange soda. Yeah,
That and the Amanda Show, like
Yeah.
and not only from the Amanda Show, specifically Totally Kyle, I still reference that like at least once a week. Get you upside down a fish stick.
That's funny.
Wait, that's totally Kyle. One
Yeah,
time.
okay, another I don't know if you guys remember this from the Amanda Show, but do you remember like towards like the later season, she started to have like this serious skit like towards the end. I forget what it was called, but
Oh
like
my god, it was
Yes.
like Mooney. Like
yes, okay. And then remember her dad lost his big toe and he couldn't sit.
Yes.
it's just like oh, we're just still trying to look for. And then they're like,
And her mom was
you know,
lost in a
I was in a
balloon.
hot air balloon. She's like, she's like, she's up there somewhere. We're still alive, bro. Like she just.
They just left her.
Oh my
But you
goodness.
cannot lie. Whoever wrote that was genius. It was
Oh.
like you could still watch that now and like bust out laughing. It's
That is a-
hilarious.
Especially like with like what was like the thing like what was like the show like it was like basically mocking like not Seventh Heaven. Oh Jesus, no.
There was like, oh my gosh, I think it was Caitlin's Way or something.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's like such an obscure like teen where the girl that like she was a bad kid and she had moved to Montana or something
Yeah.
like that
Yeah.
to ride horses.
Weird. That
Yeah.
was weird. That show was weird. I never understood that show. Like
Like,
what?
oh, you're bad. We're gonna make you ride horses.
Like what? But
Like,
then again, let me not say
The
nothing
one of the
because
most expensive sports for kids.
Right.
Nah,
Like,
let
go
me
like-
not.
It's like a white girl version of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, basically. Like she went to go live
Yeah.
with her rich aunt and uncle in Montana.
Right. But you know what's crazy though? Because I could still relate to that because my mom sent me to DR. And what do we do in DR back then? We was riding horses.
Yeah, but not the same though.
It's not the same.
Like, did
It's
y'all have
not.
stables?
No.
No.
See,
We
so-
were
so
weird.
talk about
No.
we're-
No. I'm just saying.
we're
I'm
riding horses too.
I'm not gonna lie,
just
look.
riding with the wind, but still, I'm just
The way our parents thought about things, right? So like your mom sent you to DR. My dad sent me to New York. Both terrible ideas.
right. She sent me to
Terrible
for a year.
terrible places to send your children to teach them a lesson about anything.
Right. I feel like if you like that's one thing that I never understood is like why send your kid to DR? You moved
You left there for a
DR
reason.
to get a better life out here, but now your kid is acting up with all these Dominican kids and you just decide to take her to her natural habitat to DR.
I mean, because well, I mean,
You're
also
more
had to deal with
free.
blackouts. You know,
You're more free in DR though. That's the
Yeah,
thing.
you could do whatever you want.
You
No
can
one's
do
paying
whatever you
attention to you.
want, no matter what. Like I was doing whatever I wanted when I was out there. I was young, but I was still like out. Like it was weird to me. I mean, I hated it to be honest, because I hated the fact
So
that the light
clearly
always
it
went out.
worked. So clearly it worked.
No, because we were gonna move out there, and because I didn't like it, we didn't move. So no, it did not work.
I mean, it technically did because you're like, no, we're not.
No, because listen,
Mm-mm.
after she got sent to DR, then my dad started sending me to New York, and then we still did whatever we wanted in New York.
Yep, we was going out. We was outside.
We were outside. We literally were never home the
Never.
entire summer that I was there. And I'm thinking,
Never. We
My
would
dad-
wake up. We would. There was times that we wasn't even sleeping. Like,
Yeah, we would literally stay up all night. Wait for it to get like to a normal time. I think we was go to sleep at like 5 or something. Sleep for
yeah,
a couple hours, shower,
and
do
then leave.
whatever your mom wanted us to do, clean or something, and then we were out
Yep.
for the whole day.
And we didn't come back home till like probably like 10, 11.
Yeah,
And
if that.
if that, right,
If not, we'll go to one of our cousins' houses and then show up later, like 1 or 2 in the morning.
right. Yep. So it didn't help. Nothing helped.
No, nothing helped.
I don't
Nothing helped. Like,
I blame it on all the Nickelodeon shows we watched.
Wow.
It rotted our brains.
I'm just gonna send kids to Scared Straight. That's all I'm gonna do.
they still do that.
Oh, my mom did that to me
You got sent to prison?
What'd you get so scared straight for?
because I was a bad kid,
No, she
man.
wasn't.
man.
No,
You just
actually,
leave.
no, I was actually like,
But you went to prison? Like they took you to prison and stuff?
yeah.
That's traumatizing.
Oh my
I'm
God.
sorry.
Right.
Like I was, like I was just like,
They were screaming in your face?
they were screaming in my face, and my thing is,
They
I'm
try
just
to do
like-
that to me too.
But my thing is, I'm just like,
They
I
would.
do. I I was like 13 at the time, so I like probably been without my
I'm
dad.
surprised you wasn't in the show.
Like,
Are you in the
there's-
show?
Do you know how many like different Scared Straight programs there are?
No, I
There-
didn't know
there-
that was a thing.
There are many. It's not just one. There's
I
a
didn't
lot
know.
of-
I didn't know that was like programs that they had. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I thought that was
they
just a
have
show.
one for like they have like those for like like jails and stuff like that. But then they also have others like for military. I would honestly, it'd be even worse if it was military. Like that's just.
Yeah, no.
That's-
Okay, wait. Have you guys ever seen the skit that Tyler the Creator did with his friends of like Scared Straight? It was like a
No.
parody of
Oh,
Scared
and
Straight.
But I remember his show because I remember like, so you're just gonna give me a birthday cake on my birthday? I want my birthday cake when you with the birthday. So on my birthday, like you want to give me a birthday cake, and then she with the glass. I was like, yo, that was a really good show.
That was a good show.
Squad Patrol.
But okay, so they did a Scared Straight skit, and there was a part where like he walked in and they were like trying so hard not to laugh because he was like doing that. He's like going up to everybody's face and like screaming at them. And
Mhm.
one guy had like, he's like, "Boy, you got so many necklace. Why you got so much necklace?" And he was like grabbing his chains and stuff. We say that to Zeppelin all the time because he has 2 collars.
How you gonna do that to the dog? I'm like, I didn't put
I
him.
was just like,
I didn't put him on.
He's like, okay.
Like Jesus.
Yeah. No, that's crazy. That's
Yeah.
so sad.
yeah, I'm glad you survived that.
It straightened me up. Like,
I mean, she went to the military afterwards, so it was like it was either prison or military, I guess.
Oh no.
like, like my thing is like I didn't go to the military because I was a bad individual. I went to the military like for my own life structure, and that was my own decision. I was 20
Some people need really structured systems to get things done sometimes. Like that's okay. It's not
like I
like,
just needed to figure out like some direction, like what I wanted
yeah.
to do, and then I'm like it helped. It helped. I stayed in for quite a while, so like
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people I feel like if my parents didn't do that for themselves, I think they're both like I think they're ADHD before people knew what ADHD was. And I think
Oh yeah.
I think if they didn't have that like set of like, okay, you're gonna go do this, you're gonna go do that, like they would be like, I don't know.
I
Who
don't know.
knows?
I feel like yeah, no. Especially with your dad like growing up in the Bronx. Like cuz he came to the States, I believe, when he was in high school, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he was like 15 or 16.
Yeah,
maybe.
he was in high school, and so he went to Roosevelt High School, I think. No, Fordham High School.
No,
I
he
think
went to Roosevelt. I think.
Roosevelt, yeah. And at the time, Roosevelt High School was.
I mean, the Bronx in general at that time. I mean, it's honestly repeating itself now.
it's
I'm like,
repeating.
is it
No.
any
No. It gets better and then it goes around in a circle. Like literally,
Yeah.
that's how New York is. That's why I always say that. Like literally, it just goes around in a circle. Like I see what happened years ago, like when people were dying in like broad daylight, we're getting
Yeah.
kids in the summer and stuff like that. This was when I was younger. It's
It's happening again. Yeah.
So it's like literally repeats itself at least like every 10 to 5 years.
15, yeah, I would say 10, 15 years, it gets really bad. But
Mhm.
yeah, so when he moved here, it moved there. It was like during that time. And I think that was at a time when like there was like a big influx of people moving from DR. So there was a lot of like stigma, definitely, of like, oh my God, like all these Spanish people, like, you know, all of that. Cause there was still a lot of like, I think a lot of like Jewish and Italian people that lived in the Bronx at the time. Now it's not like
They're
barely.
they're in Brooklyn. They're all in
Yeah.
Brooklyn.
Oh,
All the they have their own street in Brooklyn, like Jewish people.
Yeah. So
Yeah. With this whole quiet on set, we can start it off with all that, because all that was a big.
it was the start.
It was a start.
yeah.
It
Yeah.
was a
I
start
mean,
of
just
that.
to give, I mean, for all these horrible things that this man did to the writers, to the kids, the lack of like giving a shit about anybody's well-being or background checks or anything, and all these like despite the disgusting like gross jokes,
Yeah,
And
take
at the
those out.
time,
Obviously they went over all of our heads, but like nobody,
because we were children.
because
right?
we were literally children. I mean, the shows outside of that, take all that out, which is unfortunately like at this point like 60 to 70% of it. Some of
Right.
it was really great. Like I looked forward every single weekend to watching all that on Fridays.
I loved all that.
Yeah.
Like
I
that
watched
was
reruns
my
all
thing.
week. I loved every single part of it, and I think that's why I grew up to love Saturday Night Live too.
Yeah,
Once I got old enough to watch it,
it literally
it's
was.
a great concept for a show, really. And like you look back and see all the like big like celebrities that performed on the show, like the artists that performed on the show, those are like big names.
Right.
But some of the songs that they performed, like now,
Not appropriate for kids, no, not at all.
Aaliyah
But I
performed
mean,
"Age Ain't Nothing But a Number."
Oh my God.
no, she didn't.
Yes, she
she
did.
did. Mind you, being
Yes.
a teenager herself. She was a
Yes.
teenager herself.
And she sang,
"Age Ain't Nothing But a Number."
and they put it on Quiet on Set. And when we saw that, we were like,
like-
oh my God. And mind you, I know that for a fact that when we watched it back then, we was all like,
"Age
AJ
Ain't
nothing but a number.
Yep.
Hey, like going in, like crazy.
it was.
And now that we look at it, we're like,
oh,
oh,
Yeah.
Aaliyah, you should have blinked twice if you need help. Like,
The sad part is that like in these
she was going
situations,
through
a
her
lot of
own
time,
stuff with R. Kelly.
yeah, but like in that situation specifically, I feel like she didn't know because
No,
nobody
she-
was protecting her. She's like a 14-year or 15-year-old girl,
Yeah.
and you know these men are showing her attention, and she's like, oh, okay, like no one's there to tell her like, hey, like this is not right, like this man is too old for you, like
You
an
wanna
old
know-
man should not be giving you that kind of attention.
Do you want to know a fun fact though? Aaliyah's uncle was the one that put her on to R. Kelly.
It's always it's like, okay, they actually say, I think it's like in like 70% of like child trafficking cases, there's a family member involved.
Yeah.
Either doing the abuse or like allowing it.
Disgusting.
That's terrible.
Yeah, it's awful.
And how else would you get close?
Right.
Right. But yeah. Huh. But with all that though, like all these jokes, like these feet jokes, don't get me wrong. When I was young, I always thought it was weird. Cause I'm like,
Mhm.
why?
They were never funny to me.
Yeah, and I'm like, why is it so much feet? Like, what is going on with these feet? Like,
Yeah.
what? That's why when socks and sandals came out, I was like, finally they covering up the feet. Like,
Oh my God, but that's a foot thing.
It's another
yeah,
Oh.
right.
Like, and literally every show he did had some type of foot reference. Like
Mhm.
all the time, there was always a episode or a couple of episodes that had foot.
Well, the skits, sometimes a whole show would be about it, just in different skits.
Yeah.
To be honest,
Yeah.
like it would literally be in different skits, and then he just kept it going. But it was just crazy to me, like how, like
Where do people even get a foot fetish like that from?
it's.
I have no idea, but
I
the
don't
thing is,
know.
like, but you also have to understand, like, in the 90s, like, the internet was just being kind of like, just getting up,
Mhm.
just started, and to have so much access to like anything, and I do mean anything
Yeah.
about like growing up in the 90s and like getting on the computer and child block wasn't really a thing.
Oh yeah, it
Uh,
like the internet was like the porn Wild Wild West in the 90s. Like, I mean, the pop-ups you used to get, you remember those crazy
oh
ass
my
pop-ups?
god.
It's on Cartoon Network, just trying to play a little game and
Yes.
just being
Yep.
innocent, and all of a sudden you're like,
And your parents looking at you like, what are you
What
looking
are you? Yeah, it's like I didn't do it; just came up by itself. But then
at?
obviously,
Right.
like, some kids like they see it and they're like, no, what's that? Like,
Want to go and keep exploring.
right,
So,
right.
but yo, it was just crazy because I'm like, when I was young, I thought it was weird. And then like now watching Quiet on Set and him like them saying, because I first of all, the fact that this man had that much power
Yes.
is crazy to me.
Yeah.
Because
But
he
I mean,
had
it's
no
money at the end of the day. They're like, he's making us money. Who cares what he's doing?
and especially within the culture of Hollywood at the time,
Yeah.
yeah.
was
But it
even worse than it is.
Yeah, because there was no one being held accountable. Like there was no Me Too movement. There was no like
yeah.
all this stuff would happen behind the scenes and no one really talked about it. Like men, unfortunately, like predominantly men were able to go around and just be egomaniacs and treat people like crap and no
Marilyn
one
Monroe.
would call them out on it.
Marilyn Monroe.
Oh yeah, Marilyn Monroe.
You gotta see that documentary.
We just saw that documentary,
Oh,
girl.
yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, like I don't know, it's just crazy to me. And then like the skits that he would do, like the one that stood out to me when I was watching Quiet on Set was the skit that he did with the little black boy.
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
he was the fetus rapper,
yeah, little feet.
Yeah.
little fetus, and he's literally growing up and he has to be in this like a skin tight like
Yeah. Yeah.
leotard. And then what was even worse was that when they try to get him the bald cap, they were saying how they had to be charcoal black.
Yeah,
Like it was
Yeah.
crazy. And like
It's just very disturbing, especially because so I was actually kind of surprised when they pointed out that there were only two black actors on the whole set,
right.
because I feel like all that, I mean, obviously everybody watched it, but I think a lot of it was targeted towards like a black and brown audience of kids. I mean, the artists they had on,
it was.
and like, the type of like I feel like it was, I don't know, like I felt like it was like for us, like it was
Right.
like for everybody, and for them to only have two black actors on the show is kind of crazy.
My thing is, I'm like, you still have to. I'm thinking like, they still had marketers. They still knew what the times were doing. 90s were
Right.
heavily hip hop influence, heavily urban influence. So this like, we know this is our market, and if we want to make the amount of money that we want to make, if we want to make the success that we want to make, we have to generate to this audience, even though we particularly don't want to use that
Mhm.
demographic. But this is the demographic that we got to go for.
Yeah. But it was crazy because that skit, and also they had the same boy doing what was it? It was like the big nose, like
Yeah,
that.
Oh, the costume that looked like a dick and then it had
Yeah, like two
stuff
balls.
shooting out of it.
Right. And yeah, it was crazy. Like I was like, bro, what the hell? And then
Yeah.
and then the skit with the girl, with the black girl that they pointed out when they kept
bending her face.
spitting in her face.
Yeah.
I was like, bro.
And my thing is,
I mean,
these are still like, they're like preteens going into teenagers. So it's just like,
right.
how would you feel if somebody spit in your face at 13? I know I wouldn't be able to handle it.
Right. I mean, I'd be fighting somebody, but
Got
I
you.
think these kids are also like kind of like in a bubble. Like they were super sheltered because they're trying to become actors. So they're like only with their parents or the kids that they're working with on set. So they don't really have the same
Lifestyle.
same like kind of like social
Yeah.
cues and like things that we learn maybe in school or like in different things. Like they wouldn't have that because they don't have a normal childhood. So
Right.
for them, they're like, well, am I supposed to be doing this? Like, I guess this is my job. They told me this is the right thing to do, so I guess this is fine. But like they don't realize like how degrading, and like even if they feel it, they don't really know like
They're
fully
just like, I'm getting
what's
paid for
happening
what
to
I'm gonna
them.
do. Yeah.
I think they're also like feeling pressure from their family because like they essentially might be their family's ticket to
Mm-hmm.
better life. Because then I think about that one. I'm sorry, that mom was trash. That one white mom was trash, and she's
Oh
like,
God.
"Oh, I didn't go to the police because they like because you would have been put at fault because you put your daughter in a situation so that she could get abused." Fuck you! Like you were terrible, and I don't. I'm not. I don't feel bad for her at all. And there was a reason why that girl didn't show up too, because she probably like, no, fuck you. You literally didn't stop anything. You
You
didn't
talking
Right.
stumble
about
upon.
the girl's mom,
Yeah.
Boy 101?
No, I'm talking
No, she's talking about the there
mom.
was a kind of like this like offshoot story that was going on in the background of this girl who had like auditioned for a Nickelodeon show, and one of the like assistants took interest in her, and she was like chatting with
Oh
him
yeah. I remember that. Okay.
separately. And I'm like, okay, first of all, why would you even think it's okay for your daughter to be
A
chatting
30-year-old.
casually with a grown man? Like she was like 9, I think, and he was like 20
Mhm.
something,
Yeah,
Yeah.
almost 30. And it's like,
yeah.
okay, why would you think that's appropriate to begin with? That should have been red flag number one. And then he ultimately like, ended up sending her like explicit things and whatever else.
Right.
And just like, yeah, if you knew that was happening, you could tell almost. She's like, oh, I didn't know. I was like,
But you did know
you
because
did
your daughter
know.
told you immediately when it started. And the fact that your child trusted you enough to be like, yo, like this is happening, and you're like, well, okay, like no. And the thing is, like, remember the very first thing she said was, "It was always my dream to be an
Hmm.
actress." And I'm like, I see.
Yeah, she's
But
like,
when
yeah.
she
Then when my
sacrificed her
daughter brought it
daughter,
up, I wanted to help her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
it's not to say that your kids can't have the same dreams that you want, like especially when it comes to like being famous, superstardom, and all that stuff.
No, she definitely influenced her to do that.
I feel like that
100%.
was more like forced, if anything.
Not, yeah, no, maybe not necessarily forced, but maybe from a young age, like kind of like planting a seed in her head, like, oh,
Mhm.
I used to always want to be an actress. Being an actress seems like so much fun. And,
Very
like little things like that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Or like I think you'd be a great actress. You're so beautiful. Like you're so funny. Like you'd be a great actress. Little, yeah, that's I mean, kids don't just come up with that on their own.
Yeah, true. But yeah, because it's okay. Wait, before I say anything, we got 9 minutes.
Yeah.
Um,
So I guess we can try to wrap up all that quickly and then.
yeah, but what I was gonna say though was, um, like you were saying, like the kids, they don't have the same mindset in a way
Mhm.
how regular kids are and stuff, just because they don't have that exposure in like public school or like just school in general. You get what I'm saying? Because they never go
Mhm.
to school. They're going to school and on set. Like you
Right.
get what I'm saying? They're getting classes on set. But the reason why I brought that up is because I watched Raven's podcast with her wife, and Corey's brother
Brother
was on it,
from
and
Zoe 101.
from Zoe 101, because that's his brother. So he was on it, and he was like, that never happened to us because, the teachers, they have a big say. Like, they run the show on the set. Like, they run the show. Like, if the kid has to go and do something, like they got to go do a test or they have to go study, the teacher can take them out of set. Like, literally, they could be filming and the teacher be like, no, they got to go. Like, they run the show.
Hmm.
And on Quiet on Set, they made it seem like the teachers didn't do anything, which was like crazy to me.
But I also feel like his time with Nickelodeon was different because, mind you, this is already after not one but two people being arrested at Nickelodeon.
Yeah.
So it's like something had to change.
Yeah. I think even
Little
if Nickelodeon didn't make a big splash about it at the time after the whole like court thing with Drake and the other, I think there was like someone else afterward that they had mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
I think they even internally probably were like, no, we need to do something about this, which thank God they did. Because obviously like the liability of that is just horrendous.
Yeah.
Um, So I'm glad to hear that that was the case for him, because it seems like for these kids, it
Right, because
really
that's
wasn't.
how it was for Raven too. She was like, my teacher would take me out of set.
There's also Disney Channel, not Nickelodeon.
That's the difference.
Well, yeah, but we know who they hired in
They
Disney.
did.
That's true. That's true. He ended up at Zack and Cody.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have a feeling a Disney documentary is going to come out soon, so I'm not
Oh,
even gonna give them. I'm
girl.
not going to give them
When
nothing.
they NDAs are up, and bro,
Yes.
it's gonna be like a good 20 years. So I'm just like, it might hit.
It should be hitting soon.
It should be. It should be, but it's gonna be like the very first Disney stars. Like we're not gonna get Hannah Montana anytime soon. Like
Miley Cyrus, no,
like,
because
oh,
she
no.
went through her own stuff.
we're not gonna get any documentary on her until we're probably about like 40, 45. I'm
Oh
telling
no,
you.
we're going to get the people from like Boy Meets World,
Yeah.
Sister.
Even
Oh my gosh. Oh, I could go on
even
about the Disney
especially, I'm
shows.
waiting for Shia LaBeouf.
Oh, Shia LaBeouf.
What?
Oh.
I'm waiting. I'm
Yeah.
waiting. Because you can't tell me that boy was not on drugs when he was on Even Stevens. You cannot.
Yes. Also, we need to figure out what the hell happened to Orlando Brown.
Woo.
Girl, oh my God. So he's on Zeus.
Oh Jesus.
He's on Zeus Network. The Ratchet TV I be watching.
That sounds like probably a good spot for him right now.
Yeah, but he's so bad in there. Like, I haven't watched the show that he's in. And like, babe, she's like, yo, you should watch it. I'm like, nope, I don't want to, because if I see him, like, I haven't watched none of his interviews, nothing
Yeah.
that had to do like with him, like, how he is now. Like, I don't watch none of
It
that.
does break my heart to see it. It really does.
Yeah, it breaks my heart, but I don't watch it because I'm like, I'm not, the image that I have in my head of you, you're not gonna do me dirty like that. Like, I'm not gonna take it like it's reality, like you're like this. No, in my head, you're Raven's best friend. Like you're not this person. Like, I don't want to hear it.
I just get so sick and tired.
I don't want to hear it because he's weird now, and he just all these like sound effects and shit. Like,
a lot. It's just a lot.
Yeah, and it's hard to tell. Like, obviously, I think he is very mentally ill, but then you're like, okay, at what point is it that? And I feel like some of it is also like a bit now where he's like just acting a little bit. So I'm like, okay, how much of it is acting? How much of it is real? Like, and I agree. Like, I'm like, I had this like cute image of him in my head, and now it's gone.
It's gone, and I'm like, I don't want it to be fully gone, so that's why I just don't watch anything that he does now.
Major pain, y'all.
Right.
Like, that's still somewhere. But it's like also just like the effects of Hollywood. Because I'm like, Amanda Bynes, like she.
Oh, time for the Amanda show. Amanda show. Dun, 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 dun. Okay.
That was my ish. I wanted to be
That was my shit.
I wanted to be Amanda so bad.
I think we all did at one point.
Yeah.
Like, I wanted to be her so bad. But
I mean, yeah. No. Like, no, honestly, you know what? On the heels, like, okay, Mallory and I were texting today that Dan Schneider, today, what is today? May 2nd, it came out that he filed a defamation lawsuit against the people who made this documentary.
Yeah, I saw that.
Because I read an article earlier, basically he's saying that putting him in this next to these known pedophiles and stuff, putting his image next to them and kind of like telling that whole story with him in it is making it look like he did something, and that's not the case. However, the way they presented Amanda's part of this documentary,
something happened.
Something happened. Something happened there.
Yeah.
Something happened there.
Something happened. Like, you can't say nothing.
I mean, you were trying to have her emancipate from her parents, and they eventually wanted to adopt her. And we know that. And I think I'm just like, we already don't trust you. The kids were already afraid of you working on set, so why would we trust you to take care of a child?
Right.
Yeah.
And similar, like what we were saying about Aaliyah earlier, how she might not have really understood the gratitude of like what was really happening to her. I think Amanda was in the same situation. And from what we saw, her parents were like that uncle that kind of were like, we
Her
need this
dad
money.
was that person, yeah.
Right. And
Unfortunately.
just kind of like pushing her into his arms almost.
Mm-hmm.
And especially
So,
Like,
being able to meet her at such a extremely young age, it gives nothing but time to groom.
right.
And like the fact that he was over a network that you're not even a part of. Because when she was like, "What a girl wants," like he wasn't like,
Right.
Mhm.
like
Yes, that was insane to me. Okay, so like the fact that he would like follow her onto like, her, I mean, every kid star has that moment, right? Where they like start
Right.
doing older, like more teen movies and
Right.
like then, slowly making their way. The fact that he followed her on through that journey is just,
And tried to get on, like tried to get,
yes.
because they didn't let him, good thing. But
yeah.
he tried to get on that and try to like change the whole script and stuff, get on set, like.
But does it kind of don't you think it like kind of like mirrors Drake's situation with
Exactly. That's
that-
exactly what I was about to say. The behavior is almost exactly the same.
Just in different ways.
Yep.
Right. Like, yeah, sure, the gender roles are switched because it's a little girl, not a little boy, but I mean, it's the obsession is the same. The stuff, like the craziness is just, it's, I don't know. And it's such a shame because they show all her like early footage
Yeah.
of her doing stand up as like a little kid. She's so talented.
Yeah. And
So talented.
and it's crazy too, because they also have footage of Dan, like, hugging her on set and her, being all over Dan and like,
Mhm.
her, because Dan had this thing about having the women to massage him on set. And there was
Yeah.
times that Amanda was doing that and they had pictures of that.
Because wasn't he one of the ones that was had the hot tub scene with her at one point?
Yeah, he was the one
Yeah.
the hot tub scene. And I remember that because when it came out, I was like, why is he fully dressed in a hot tub scene with a teenager? Like, that was weird to me. That was weird.
When they started having the hot tub scenes and we had grown adults in the hot tubs, it was already weird.
Right.
And I'm like, oh, they're in clothes, but I'm like, she's still in a bikini though.
Mm-hmm. It was
Right. And when they started showing those scenes about like how they would like, there was like a picture of him, because I remember like at the beginning of every Amanda show, there was like they would like hang out in the dressing room to like figure out what was going on first. And they had like a picture of him like he was like God or something, or like
right.
what is going on?
And then the way the kids would talk about him, it made it seem like he was like godlike in a way.
Yeah.
Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, it was
Cult, like
yeah, it's
Yeah.
giving cult.
he wanted a cult of kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Weird.
Also, Penelope Taint.
Bruh.
She was one of my favorite characters. Now she's ruined.
Right? Like literally like ruined it. Like ruined. I was like, bruh, like y'all like my childhood was a lie. She's a lie. Like I'm thinking it's all these great things. It's not. It's filled with trauma.
I know.
Like, thanks for that.
Yeah. And like I guess, I mean, there's so much more to cover still, but like, we got to the last episode and they gave everybody a chance to kind of respond to like all the TikToks and all the response videos, and like his apology where he was like, oh, like, I'm so sorry if like our jokes that we made for kids offended anybody. Like, it's just being looked at as like a grown-up lens now. I'm like, no, you grown-ups wrote those jokes.
Right.
You wrote the jokes. You knew exactly what
You
you
knew
were doing when you
exactly
wrote them.
what, yeah, like there was one that what the writers were talking, the female writers were talking about, and it was the scene in Zoe 101 when she gets squirted with like some jelly on her face. And the girl writers, like the women, they were saying like, this is like, I forgot what like the name of it was, like, it was like ejaculating
a
or
cum shot.
a cum shot. Yeah, it's a cum shot. And like everybody as an adult in the set is like talking about like, this is a cum shot, like the fuck. But the higher ups, like he like Dan made it seem like it wasn't a cum shot. Like he didn't want people to say like, oh, it's a cum shot to the higher up.
Right. And then my thing is like, say you did write the joke and didn't know that it had that sort of like connotation. If someone is telling you that it does, shouldn't that be enough for you to be like, oh, that's weird. I you know what? I didn't even realize that. Let me change that.
Right.
My thing is, I'm just like, he's like, you have to understand, y'all. Like, I get these, like, I make the script or whatever like that, but it still has to be approved. And I'm just like, but you could also just approve it again. If that's what
Right.
you're gonna do. And like at the time, you had all the power, so nobody was telling you you couldn't do anything because you were
Right.
Nickelodeon's golden like
Child.
producing
Yeah.
child, like literally like. You're making the network so much money, and in turn making the shows money, and in turn making the theme part money, and it's like it was like a trickling effect.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Right. Oh my God. This is just ugh. Like that scene, and also like what took me off was like when the women writers, like they were saying how he would make them like scream, like, you know,
Obscenities.
yeah, like basically.
Yo.
um but when when he was telling like the women writers to like, he would like call them and be like, oh, say this, and he would like keep like chatting to them like, oh, scream it, and like say I'm a slut or something, like scream you're
Oh
a
my
slut.
God, I know. They're
And he
so
was, and if
weird.
they didn't do it, he was like texting them, chatting to them like, say it, like say, and they had to say it.
Which I'm just
Like
like,
it's so like,
I'm like, how could
bruh.
you not feel like that's not degrading? Like for your own weird, like enjoyment. And
Yeah.
then it's just like you still have to like put the punishment on Nickelodeon because I'm like, y'all just paid them off.
Yeah.
Hey.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. That part, like, you guys, I mean, I guess and it's true, like the way that everything was done, there's really no like criminal charges
Mm-mm.
outside of the people filing lawsuits or whatever for their specific situations of like that one woman, I think, for like the pay issue where he like
Right.
he had them split one person's
Yeah, the
salary.
women, it was
Yeah.
crazy. And you saw what he said on the YouTube, right? Like on his response about that.
I didn't see the response about that,
Oh,
no.
he said he didn't have no control
He's
over
like, I don't
it.
have control
Yeah,
over how people do.
sure.
Right. Back then, I felt like you had a lot to say in that.
Or you could have just hired one writer.
I think like you could like my thing is I'm like he had control over everything.
Every aspect of everything.
And I can only imagine
Like,
though, because I'm just like, these people, like, they're not giving overtime, even though they're working like hellacious hours. Like, just
Oh my gosh, yeah, that one woman who said she like literally had like like a mini stroke or something. She like passed out from like
mhm.
fatigue and then
Lee was
like I'll
getting
be
carried out
back.
by the ambulance and said, I'll be back for work. I'm like, bruh.
Bruh.
And that's what they want us to do now. And I'm like, I refuse.
And then
Yeah.
there was one of
Yeah.
the writers that she got fired because she went to a concert.
Oh, because she wanted to have a personal life.
Yeah, because she wanted to have
Yeah.
a personal life.
How
So
dare
because she went to a concert
how,
on her day off, she got fired.
how dare
Goes
you?
crazy to me.
Personal life? You work for a kids show. Why would you think that?
Right.
Bruh, crazy. But like I could only imagine.
Does that mean like Nick Jr. and everything is a lie too? They're like scandals behind those two?
I don't know.
Well,
Oh, I'm not gonna be able to handle it. But like Disney Jr.
Little Bill, written by
Wiggles,
Bill
bro.
Cosby.
No,
Oh, yeah, that part. But that's PBS though.
No, that was on
PBS
Nick
PBS is
Jr.
fine.
That was on Nick Jr. Oh.
Hmm.
Like PBS, like there's. I'm sorry, like I'm not like PBS is fine. PBS is sacred. Okay, that is literally public, like educated stuff. Like what we're not gonna do is vilify PBS Kids. Okay, no. The only thing that I didn't like about PBS Kids was Caillou. That was such an unnecessary cartoon.
Oh, Caillou, I
That
really
little,
didn't
that
like.
little, that
And
little.
he used to get mad so much. I'm like, why are you so upset, Caillou?
I
He's
mean,
always
if
mad.
you guys see the new Caillou on
I'm
YouTube,
sorry, there's a new one.
no. So there's this guy. No. So this guy, he made like a older Caillou, basically. Like he grew up, like he's 30 something, bruh.
Oh, the ones on YouTube. Oh my god.
Yeah, the ones on YouTube, those shit. Oh my my God, they're
Like, come on,
funny.
daddy.
Yeah, he's like, come on, daddy. Like, he's old. I'm talking
And
about
he's-
32-year like, daddy, I want to
He's
play.
like, Caillou,
Oh God.
Yeah.
He's like, Caillou, you're 36.
He's like, daddy, daddy, I want to play with you, dad. And then his mom is like, Caillou, do you want to go to Star? No, I want to stay with daddy. Like, what?
It's,
I hope kids aren't watching that thinking.
No,
it's
it's
No,
not
no,
for
no,
kids.
no. It's on YouTube. It's
It's
not for kids. It's not for kids at
Girl,
all.
but no, kids be watching whatever they want on
You're
YouTube.
like,
I
People
know,
don't-
Grown up Dora? Oh my
Oh,
God.
grown up Dora is funny as hell. But anyways, we're getting
Not for
sidetracked.
kids, not for
Yeah,
kids.
sidetrack.
Sidetracked. But I could only imagine though, like now that we know all this stuff that has been going on, like with Dan and Amanda, like those times that Amanda was going missing before her show, quote unquote, like, talking to Dan and trying to figure out what's good. Like,
Right. That's what I'm like, okay, what was all that if nothing happened?
right.
Yeah, you were spending so much alone time with her. And then like I like remember we were watching the show like live, and I was like seeing all those TikToks about like, you remember it in like 2017 or 2018 when Amanda Bynes was like going off on Twitter and nothing made sense. But like now if you go back and read those tweets, they all make sense.
All
Yeah.
of them make sense.
But
Every
like she has no life behind her eyes. She talks so very catatonic to the point where it's like it makes you like believe like she like may have had like a lobotomy. Like, cause you know how like like those
oh
like,
yeah, or like there's like some therapy that you can get. It's called like TMS therapy for depression, where they basically kind of like
just
it's kind of like an electric shock to your brain or something.
Mhm.
It's for very extreme cases, but most people don't get it because it's like $20,000 for a treatment and it takes a really long time.
Yeah.
Is that the therapy that they were using for gays back then?
For gays? No, I don't think so.
No,
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
it is. It is. It's the therapy shop.
They had electrotherapy for gays.
Yeah.
Basically.
Oh
like,
God, really?
yeah,
You didn't
yeah.
back then.
Yeah.
That was like their thing because this how I
That must have been like rich families that sent their kids there
Very
to
much,
like.
very much so.
And in Dominican Republic, they had it too, girl. And the reason why I know they had it in Dominican Republic is because Jonathan, he is Sin Santana's. I don't know if you know who Sin Santana is.
Yeah.
Her best friend Jonathan, that he's like a stylist and stuff. Like her best friend, he's gay. He's Dominican, and he got sent to DR for that therapy.
It's probably cheaper there.
Cheaper, yeah, but it was the worst. Like he was
Oh
gay.
my
It was so bad. Like he explained to his mom like in graphic detail what was going on, and she was like, I didn't know. Like I didn't know because she thought it was all through the church.
Of course it is.
Of
It was
course.
through the church.
Of course it is. Because Jesus saves.
Mhm.
Because Jesus saves.
Right. But yeah. Yeah, like it's crazy though. Like because the same thing, like those times that Amanda was with Dan, Drake was having those times with
Mhm.
Boy.
Patrick, right? That was his name, Patrick, I think it was.
No, it was. I know his last name was Bell.
Yeah.
Oh no, Peck. Brian Peck. That was his name.
Brian Peck.
Brian Peck.
Yeah.
Oh, that's why I was like Patrick because of the Peck part. Yeah.
Yeah. But I guess we can. I don't want to go like too deep into that because I think at this point everyone knows.
Right. We don't have to go too
Happened.
deep, but
Unfortunately, it's like so sad for me. Like, obviously, the entire thing is sad.
Yeah.
Watching. I think it's insane that like his girlfriend. It took for his girlfriend's mom to notice that something was
yes.
up.
Yes.
But there's
And finally put an end to it. Like, where was your mom?
No, but there's a reason why she's not in
Wasn't
it
a
because she
documentary.
was the reason why.
Yeah,
Then.
yeah.
What
And I know like he tried to give his mom some credit in that like follow-up episode,
Right.
but I'm like, no.
You can't, dude. Like on some
Like-
serious thing, because like let's keep it real. Like we get it. Like, everybody has those parents. Like, one that does everything and the other one that it is like, I'm here, I'm home,
Yeah.
I do this. Like, you get what I'm saying? Or I go to work
Mhm.
and I come home, I don't want to do anything else. Like, we all have those parents.
Yeah.
Like, but the fact that his dad verbatim told her, do not leave him
with that man.
with this man at any cost. Do not leave him alone with him.
And that's the first thing
And
she
that's the
did.
first thing she do. Like, it's crazy. And then the fact that you think it's okay that this man is picking him up, taking him to all these auditions, so quote unquote, and then staying in his house.
You're taking him to all these auditions, but he never did anything but stuff on Nickelodeon. That's literally
Right.
only.
He was doing music. And the crazy thing is that when all this was happening, he says it on the documentary, when all this stuff was happening to him, it was like somewhat the highlight of his career, because he was acting, doing his thing, big hot show, and then also he was doing music.
Yeah.
So
It's
like,
all he ever wanted to do.
right. So like,
Right.
he was living his dream and it was costing him
But
his,
it's a nightmare behind the scenes.
right, it was
Yeah.
costing him his integrity, his life, basically. Like, it
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
it was sad, but it's like, because he even said it, he was like, it's sad to say, but all of that is a blur to me. Like, I don't really remember
Yeah.
those times.
Mhm.
It's just crazy. Like, I feel so
Yeah.
bad because I'm like, damn, because I was like, I used to like your shit. Like, I
Oh my
like
God.
your
I was
music.
obsessed. He was like my little like crush on Nickelodeon. He was so
Right.
cute.
I'm not gonna lie, he was my first little white little crush. I ain't gonna hold you. Cause I was like, hey, if I could find me a little white man like Drake, I'm good. That's what I was. I was like, ooh, Lord.
He's another one that like when they show like his footage from before he even worked for Nickelodeon, I almost felt like Nickelodeon was like a downgrade for him. He was already doing like huge stuff as a little kid.
Yeah. He was doing big things
Yeah.
already. But that's
Yeah.
because his dad, again,
Yes, yeah.
His dad
dad.
was really
His
pouring
dad
into it.
was pouring into him because his dad saw that that's what he wanted to do.
Hmm.
But it
Because
also gave
nobody
him
in him,
time to be with his son, like his like.
Yeah.
And I felt so bad for his dad because you could tell, like he's like, I tried.
Oh yes.
and
It broke my heart when he finally like put two and two together of like
yeah,
what happened. Like there's just oh my God, it was terrible.
bruh, I was like, oh my God. Because I think it was on the phone call, Drake called him too. And
Hmm.
he was like, oh yeah, I feel so bad for who that kid was. And then when he told him, he just broke down. And even on the documentary now, like, he broke down just thinking about it, because he was like, in 100, like, he was like, yo, in 100 million years, like, I would never, like, I knew something was up with that man. Like, I knew something was up. He was trying to keep me away from him. Like, it was to the point that he was like making Drake believe that his dad was like taking money from
Yeah, yeah,
and stuff.
Yeah.
And his dad wasn't doing none of that. Mind you, his dad transferred everything to his mom, like
Yeah.
all the paperwork, all the bank statements, everything,
yeah.
everything. Like, there was no, he kept some part of the money because he helped. No, he gave that all straight to her. Like, this is all Drake stuff. And
Yeah.
it's just heartbreaking. Like, it's crazy. And like, Drake, he even, I think if I'm not mistaken, he had posted a picture of his mom, like him hugging his mom in his social media. And I was like, I'm sorry. Ain't nothing that you're gonna say gonna make me look at this woman.
Yeah. I mean, I know she's been dragged through the mud. I
Yeah.
think after this whole thing came out, I think everyone kind of agrees with us, which is I think why he tried to come to his mom's defense, but like at the end of the day, that's his mom and that's their relationship, and they are the only ones who really know what happened behind the scenes. But from the outside looking in, it looks pretty bad.
It looks horrible because,
But
again, it took his girlfriend's mom
Hmm.
for it to come out.
true.
Like,
But then it like also like people were turning on Josh. Um
oh yeah.
and because they were just like you but the thing is like and I get it because like Josh was just trying to like disassociate because he was like doing other really more serious roles, getting really
Hmm.
like stuff and everything like that, and so like everybody kind of like this, especially when the allegations with Drake was happening and everything like that. But I'm like, it was before that because Drake was hurt and he was like, "You not gonna invite me to your wedding?" But now I get it because he's like, you were the highlight in his life, like you were a pivotal point, and to find out like friendship is not weighed the same, it's like, and then you embarrassed him and like, because like it was recorded, like Josh was like, "You gotta apologize to my wife right now. You embarrassed her." Da, da, da,
Yeah,
da.
what did he say to his wife?
Nothing, nothing. It was basically because I guess their wedding was foreshadowed because of Drake putting out like, I can't believe that you didn't invite me to your wedding. Like, I mean, it wasn't anything like mean or malicious or anything like.
Yeah, but it's just like, why?
Mm,
Another person that I know that everyone was kind of like, this seems kind of fishy that they're trying to distance themselves from this was Keenan.
yeah,
I know a lot of people asked him and he's like, well, like he wasn't on our show, da da da. But I'm like,
He
Keenan,
was.
Good Burger.
He was
yeah,
there.
Not only did he write Good Burger, he was in the movie.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I think, I mean, I
Well, it's
understand
also because
from,
Keenan has his. I mean, like because Keenan has the most celebrity status out of.
right, he has the most to lose,
Yeah,
right? He doesn't need to be, I, oh, this is also something that I kind of picked up from the documentary, but it was just really terrible to think about. I feel like a lot of the sexual abuse stuff, I want to say racism
Mm-hmm.
almost like
Mm-hmm.
protected some of the black actors from that.
yeah.
So
Oh
they're
yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
like,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about that because like I still want to work. And
Yeah.
yes, like I'm used to racism in every other like part of my life. So like at work it's like whatever. But like all the sexual abuse stuff, I think they were almost like sheltered from that in a way because of that, which is like, oh, that's like so gross. But like, yeah.
Yeah. Like, thank God for being black because thank God you didn't want me. Like, that's
Right.
Yeah.
horrible. But it's just like,
And
ew.
Spanish
Yeah.
and big too.
No, because the big white boy, he got approached by Brian Peck.
Oh
He
yeah.
got approached
At the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
because he was like, "Oh,
did.
like you're gonna give me blue balls," and he was just like,
Oh
"Yeah."
my God, that was so
He was like,
gross.
what is that? And he was like, do you know what blue balls is? And he was like blue balls.
He's like,
Like,
"Were you really cold or something?" I don't know. Like, I don't.
no, he said like
He didn't even think of that. He thought it was like a racquetball or something.
Oh
yeah,
Or
he
yeah,
like
thought
something
it
a
like
was he thought
sports
it was an
like
thing.
something like
actual blue
something that a
ball.
13-year-old would say.
Yeah, exactly. I
But
honestly like that's like the part of it that's just like as a parent and like, it's just it just is sickening. It's sickening. It's like knowing that this is like what I grew up with and now as a parent knowing that like that was happening to those kids, it's just like it's very disturbing.
yeah, but like it's also too like it's sad because like the guy that was in all that, um, remember he stopped talking to his mom
Yeah,
for
Yes.
years
Yeah.
because they didn't want him back
yeah.
and all that, but it was because
His mom was not like, "Go
his
on."
mom wasn't for it, like to let him be on set without her. Like,
Right. Right.
she was making sure like, hey,
She
I'm
was protecting
in.
him.
Yeah. And so they saw that and they're like, no, like, but then like after this documentary, because apparently this documentary they did it a year ago
Mm-hmm.
and they spoke the past year on Mother's Day. Like that was their
Yeah.
first time that they spoke in like 20 something years.
Yep.
It's so crazy.
Like it's
Yeah.
crazy. And he was going through therapy and he was like blaming his mom. Like he said it, he was blaming his mom for like his career not
Yeah.
going
Yeah.
how
Yeah.
it did and all that stuff. But now he's grateful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I'm
He's like,
glad
I
that
don't
like
think
it
I
gave
can
him.
do it. He's like,
Yeah, absolutely not.
I don't think
Yeah.
any of them, even the girl from Zoe 101 when she came out on the documentary,
yeah.
the one that was getting bullied.
Yeah.
And she was like, I was getting bullied on and off the set. Like, and
She said she got bullied by fucking Britney Spears. I'm like, bro, that's like, whoa. Because like, what are you gonna say? What you gonna say to Britney Spears? What you gonna say to Britney Spears at the top peak of her
Yeah.
career? What are you gonna say to Britney Spears?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Absolutely. You're gonna be like, well,
Nothing.
Britney Spears thinks I'm a loser.
And everybody's like, "Then you're a fucking loser." That's all it is. The pop star of the fucking century just said, "You're a loser."
Yeah. Like, how do you come back from that? You'd be in therapy for that for a long ass time.
Pretty sure she's
right.
still there.
She probably is.
Yeah,
Like
definitely.
she
But I mean, but now we see what happened
said,
to Britney Spears. So
right. The Britney girl,
Justice for Britney Spears.
right.
Who,
yeah.
who Jamie?
Because it's
Which is-
crazy. I just saw something on TikTok about Britney Spears too. That they said that Britney Spears was forced to perform just to see her kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Oh
remember
yeah,
that.
that could be a whole thing unto itself. That whole
Like, I
situation.
was
But
Is
it's
like,
like that
what?
conservatorship. So there's like you also got to think about Amanda Bynes because she was in a conservatorship.
Mhm.
Like
Mm-hmm.
and and Britney Spears be seeming like like the time that Amanda Bynes was saying all that crazy stuff on Twitter. Now it's Britney Spears' crazy time that she be writing little like paragraphs, like monologues
Yeah.
on Instagram, and I just be like,
she do,
I don't
I
know
know,
if
I
she just
know.
doesn't like understand like that's not how Instagram works, or like I don't know. I don't.
No, she's another one that definitely like whatever treatment they've had her on, because she did say that like she had been medicated with, she doesn't even know what it was for
Yeah.
years. So who knows what has happened to her poor brain. Like,
Crazy. But yeah, like that girl, she said, like, she was getting bullied on and off. Like, oh, it was just so, I just felt so bad. I'm like, damn, my childhood, because I'm like, I actually like Zoe 101. Like,
yeah.
I wanted to go to high school to like,
Oh my
I
God,
wanted
didn't everybody want that? To
like
just
I
Absolutely.
wanted to go to like a high school like that. Like I was like, take me to a boarding school. Like what
First of all, didn't even know that boarding school was not a good thing.
right.
right.
No,
Right,
No.
like,
not a
oh,
good
boarding
thing.
school is luxurious. Like you're
Man,
gonna
Man.
get
yo, I
beach.
want to go. This
Mind you, we had Lizzie McGuire in what was that? What was that boarding school movie?
Kelly?
Cadet Kelly.
That
That's probably more accurate.
And yeah, that's
Yeah.
more accurate.
But
which
that was still fun because she got to do it. You know the little thing
I
at the
mean,
end?
honor guard.
let's see,
Heck,
she was gonna be that.
heck, no, I wasn't.
Oh, they wanted her to be that
Yo, I'm like, I don't want to do
in the
that, bro. I don't
military.
want to do that. I do not want to do that because the moment that you drop that thing, I'm done. I'm over it. I
It
got
was fun to watch when you were little, though.
Yeah.
absolutely, but you got one time to drop that thing with me. No, I'm not coming back.
But yeah, like, oh man, it's happy to say though, sad to say, happy to say, but race did help
With those kids.
with them kids.
Yeah.
But oh Lord, because what's her name came back. Um,
Oh, yeah. I think it was Giovanna or something like
yeah,
that.
she came back for a show. I think it was.
Henry Danger, yeah. Which
Yeah.
is crazy. I didn't know Dan Schneider wrote that show.
I
That
didn't know
is
that
like,
either.
that's recent enough that like Jojo, my son, watched that. He's 13 now. And he watched it at some point. And like I talked to Vanessa,
Mhm.
Saul's daughter. She's kind of
Mhm.
like close in age to, she's what, I think 16 or 17. And
Yeah.
she's like, yeah, I remember watching that and thinking it was so weird. And oh my gosh, I know we're like running out of time again. So I guess we might have to, I don't know if you guys want to keep going, but that brings me to the other part huge part that we probably missed of speaking of celebrity people that don't want to be attached to this, Ariana Grande.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
she's like no comment.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to keep it going and talk
But
about
like victim,
that
victim. Oh my God.
because
Like,
that was insane.
that
Oh
was
my
terrible.
God. Because it got worse with Ariana Grande when she got her
It
own
really
show.
did.
Like that's when it really got bad. Because when she
Yeah.
was in Victorious, it was like, eh. But like when she got her own show and then they started doing like the extra
Stuff behind scenes.
yeah, because that's when he
That
started
was so
recording.
weird.
That's when he started recording and he was having like his own little vlog for like the
For
behind the
the-
scenes
yeah.
and all that. Like, oh,
The potato scene alone was just like,
the water.
bro,
yes.
water one is crazy.
It was bad.
Yeah. And that's what this girl was saying. She was like, I remember watching that when I was like 12 and being like, what am I watching?
Yeah. And
Because I feel like that's even more like whatever we were exposed to. I mean, like we saw what it was. I feel like that's even more explicit. Like it's just flat out like
It's
I
bad.
think anybody could see that and be like, that's exactly,
yeah.
we know what that's supposed to be.
Right. And it's crazy though, because I'm gonna keep it 100. Like me, I didn't watch.
Right. I was too old to watch that
Yeah.
already by that point.
I didn't. It wasn't. Yeah, me too. Like it wasn't
I
like
wasn't gonna go
internet
on the internet and go
and
watch
look
that.
and look for that, right? So which is why I think it wasn't like a big thing. Like it didn't. Like I
But
don't
it
think a
wasn't
lot of
on
people.
cable. You had to go
Well, so I
Nickelodeon.
know those scenes they would sometimes show like in the credits. Like
Yeah.
when the credits would come, they'd have like a little screen on the side and they'd show like these weird, like random scenes. I think it would come up there. But yeah,
Yeah,
I think to get like the full thing, you'd have to go look it up
you have to go
online.
on yeah on the internet and like search up because they had like their own little YouTube at the time.
Hmm.
Yeah, it was crazy. I'm like, bruh, because when I saw that scene, I was like,
Cringe.
Ariana. And then now I'm not gonna lie to you, it makes a lot of sense with the type of men that Ariana go for.
Nah.
Not
Yeah.
gonna hold you, cause she be going for these cases, these little cases,
You mean like ugly guys? Like crazy guys?
crazy guys.
Crazy guys?
Yeah, crazy guys.
I don't know because
You
they're
know,
looking different. Like, because
but the guy she was married to seemed pretty normal.
he
But I
was
think he cheated on her.
something like that. But now you're with SpongeBob.
Oh my God.
Like that's
Look,
so weird.
it's so weird. And I hate it because I love
And
her
you
music. I
you
think
took
she's such a
him
good singer,
away
but
from
like,
his wife.
and child.
Homewrecker.
But Ariana Grande has been a homewrecker though, because when
Hmm.
she's been a home, yes.
Yeah.
Because when she got with what's his name? The guy that died.
Mac Miller.
Yeah, he was with somebody.
Was he? I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I
he
did know that Pete Davidson was engaged or like in a
and she was
long-term
in the house.
relationship with Larry David's daughter.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Comedy like king. He was
Yeah,
engaged to his daughter and he left her for Ariana Grande.
Ariana.
I
And
be trying to
the
figure out how he
crazy
be getting these women.
and the
I don't
crazy
understand
thing is,
how
and the
he be-
crazy thing is that his ex-fiance, when she had an interview, she said that Ariana Grande was in the house when like she had came that she was doing an errand or something, and she came to the house and Ariana Grande was there and like just sitting on their couch, and she was like, what are you doing here? Like, why are you here?"
I mean, she kind of alludes to some of her songs too. 'Cause she did have a song "Break Up with Your Girlfriend Because I'm Bored" or something like that.
Yeah,
So I mean, that's the type of girl she is. It's a shame because she could sing, but
she's just a homewrecker. That's just her thing.
Well, that's
she's not a girl's girl.
She's definitely
definitely not a girl's girl. Okay.
I knew that a long time ago.
Ariana, what are you doing here?
No,
Bruh.
we don't know. We don't
No,
know.
literally, that's what that girl said.
Yeah, she's like, what are you doing here? Like, what the fuck why are you in my couch? And the thing was, she said that the time, I think the time either really late or it was like an odd time for like somebody that don't
just be
live in your house
visiting.
to
Yeah.
be in your house. And I'm like, bro, Ariana, I'm gonna tell you that right now. You know who to do that to, girl, because
Yeah.
I'm like,
She knows who to go after.
yeah, she know who
knows.
to go after. She
Nah.
knows who to go after.
She definitely would have been fought. Not even gonna hold you.
Oh yeah, she would have honestly.
Mm.
If Ariana Grande,
Wait. You know who she did mess with though? Who I think if she tried it again, she will get hurt.
who?
Janae Aiko and Big Sean.
Oh yeah. Ooh, first of all, she never dealt like she never
She never
soon-
like really
as
dealt
soon
with
as
her.
Big Sean was with Janae Aiko. Janae Aiko is she looks innocent. She will
No, she
Oh
will
no,
fight
she
her.
will kill you. She will murder you.
like she knows gangbangers. Okay, she is from like she's from Compton. Like don't like she know like literally no. Like, don't.
Yeah. And she did like she was spotted with Big Sean when because you know Janae and Big Sean are like they're always
off.
on and off. I
Yeah.
think now they're more just like on, but like they keep it on the low because obviously they have a kid together now.
Right.
But I think when they were on and off, I think they were spotted together and then that caused the beef between them.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like Janae was like, "Bitch, I'll beat your ass."
Yeah.
Somebody.
And she would.
Honestly,
And she would.
I feel like
Like,
Sean.
don't get her hurt.
I
Don't
feel
get
like
her-
Sean was like telling Ariana like don't communicate with Janae because she don't even
She gonna
go.
fuck us both up.
Like she
I
will
don't.
kill us both
Mm-hmm.
right now.
Imagine the album that would come out from that though. Oh my God.
It would be fire. I'm
Nice.
not gonna hold you. It would be fire. Like we should be like wishing for people's downfall for for a good album, but it's giving very much Mary J. Blige. She only makes the greatest albums when she's heartbroken. I'm sorry.
And Adele.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Adele.
Like,
Adele would be
creating masterpieces.
eating up. And Taylor Swift too, unfortunately, but she one of them too.
Ugh.
I don't like her music, but she do bangers apparently.
Look,
You know what I'm saying?
I'm not gonna make any comments because I don't want any death threats from random people.
We have
I'm
we have
good now.
we have the Beehive on our side. You can come for us if you want to, but you got to fight the Beehive.
That part.
Let's see.
That
Go ahead.
part.
Go at it. Nah, you don't want no smoke. Okay, then I'm just playing.
No, but you know what? I don't think about it. Janae Aiko needs to put out some music.
Girl, she's going on tour.
But the thing
With
is,
what songs?
she technically did put out some music, but she
put-
put out a lullaby album for babies.
I don't
So
want to listen to that.
yeah, but the thing is, like, marketing genius though, because all them new mommies was like, yeah, I need something to put this baby to sleep. Like, so I'm just like, you know, I get it. Like,
No, that is cute though. That is cute.
but does she need to make another album? Absolutely.
Yes.
I mean, yeah, because this album, well, this tour that she's doing is gonna be like her album, right? Her old album.
I think the old one, yeah.
Yeah.
I might go watch it then.
Yeah.
I've been off Instagram for a minute, so I don't know what's going on in the world anymore.
Oh, well, her
Yeah.
tour, well, I know she's gonna be here on June. I think
I'm looking this up.
around
Yeah,
around yeah, around her birthday, if I'm not mistaken.
Remember we went to go see her at that one
Oh,
Berkeley City Festival?
yes. All right.
We
I'm gonna
saw
call you
her
on
for like 2
FaceTime.
minutes. Okay.
I'm gonna
All
call
right.
you
Well,
on-
that's the show, guys. I think we covered everything.
Yeah, we
so
covered everything.
this was
Bye,
depressing.
y'all.
But hopefully next one will be more fun. Bye.
Bye.